Saeed Hassan of CAMSA, and Amanda Garcia of Casa Alba Melanie. We are also joined today by the City of Green Bay Mayor, Eric Genrich. And we share this moment today with all of you and those many individuals who work tirelessly to uplift and support our community. As we go through today's program, we hope to reflect on how moments like this inspire progress, strengthen connections, and remind us all what's possible when we come together. Our time together will include our award announcement, remarks from key leaders on what the award means to them, a community call to action, and we will end with an opportunity for a question and answer period as well. So thank you again for all being here. Let's celebrate and reaffirm our commitment to a thriving, supportive community. And at this time, where our partners, please come up. Over a year ago, our incredible partners came together with one powerful belief, that through collective action, we were building a culture of health and well-being in Green Bay, a community where everyone could thrive. Determined to highlight the unstoppable momentum of our city, we submitted an application showcasing how a new generation of leaders in Green Bay, Wisconsin was coming together across cultures to create transformational change. Out of hundreds of applications, we were chosen as one of 10 national finalists. Last November, we proudly welcomed the prize selection community to Green Bay, bringing them into the community to local agency offices where they heard firsthand the impact the work is creating, and hosting a powerful community conversation where over 25 folks shared their truth right here in Lambeau Field. And today, we have monumental news to share. Out of over 300 national submissions, Green Bay, Wisconsin has won. The City of Green Bay has officially been selected as a Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Culture of Health Prize winner. This moment is a testament to what's possible when we come together with vision, with dedication, and with heart. Today we celebrate not only the recognition, but the real impact, the work, and the unstoppable future that we are building together. And now our speakers will share more from their perspectives and what this award means to them and their work. First, it is my pleasure to introduce Robin Scott, the Executive Director of We All Rise African American Resource Center. Robin.
So she said my name. My name is Robin Scott, and I have the honor of serving as the Executive Director of We All Rise African American Resource Center. But I'm also standing here as a daughter of this city, a mother raising children in Wisconsin, and someone who has spent her life building the kind of systems our people were once denied. Today's announcement isn't just a win for one organization. It's a national affirmation of what's possible when a city chooses collective care over competition, truth over performative equity, and healing over harm. The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Culture of Health Prize is one of the highest national honors a community can receive. And Green Bay is now on the map just for what we've achieved. Not just for what we've achieved, but for what we're becoming. And I say becoming intentionally, because this is not the end of our story. It's a marker, a moment, and a momentum shift. We're here because organizations like We All Rise, like CAMSA and Casa Alba, and Wello came together not to compete for resources, but to build an ecosystem rooted in cultural truth, healing, and interdependence. And we didn't do that alone. I want to thank Mayor Eric Ginrich and the City of Green Bay, not just for your presence, but for your partnership, for being willing to sit in discomfort of change and move forward. That's what it takes to shift an entire city. We All Rise was born out of necessity because the status quo was costing us lives. We didn't wait for systems to transform. We created our own. From housing to crisis response, from youth programming to healing spaces, we've built infrastructure out of grief, resistance, and deep ancestral love. This award, it recognizes that. But more importantly, it validates every survivor who walked through our doors, every young person who asked, do I belong here? And found their answers in this community. Every staff member who showed up exhausted but committed. This win belongs to y'all. So what does it mean for Green Bay to be a national model? It means we lead, and we lead with honesty. We center the people that are closest to the pain. We tell the truth about our disparities, and then we do something about them. And let me be very clear, we are nowhere close to done. This is not a trophy, it's a call to action. To fund this work, to trust this very leadership, to expand what's already shown that it's working. Because in a city like ours, where so many of us were told we had to leave to succeed, this moment says, we are not only worthy of investment, we're worthy of transformation. Thank you. Let's keep rising together. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Saeed Hassan, soon to be Dr. Hassan, Executive Director of COMSA.
Thank you so much, Robin. Thank you, Natalie, and thanks everyone for being here today. This is more than a moment for me. Born in East Africa, went through so many countries, and my final destination being in Green Bay, this is more than a moment for me. It is an honor, not only for me, but mothers who are trying to raise kids in this country whose one time identities were refugees or immigrants. So as Robin said, I'm the executive director. My name is Saeed Hassan. I'm the executive director of COMSA, and we are a resource center serving immigrants and refugees. People who know what it means to start again, to rebuild, to lead from experience. This is a celebration, yes, a national recognition, a major moment of Green Bay, but what I keep thinking about is the smaller ones. I think about 25 people who came to the table the very beginning of this journey, who brought their stories, their truth, their hope of what Green Bay could become. I think about how many times we have gathered, just in meetings, but in kitchens, in places of worship, at school picnics, late nights at offices, and translating letters to helping someone fill out their first job applications. That is what this award is built on. Not just a proposal, not just a data, but a real people, real lives, and the everyday acts of care that build a culture of health, one interaction at a time. At COMSA, we support newcomers, people navigating housing, employment, health, schools, survival, healing, trauma. But more than everything, we create a space for belonging, because to be healthy in a new country, you don't just need a clinic. You need connection. You need to know someone has your back, that someone is with you. A culture of health prize means the nation sees that now. They see what the community-led work matters. That healing doesn't just happen in hospitals, it happens when organizations like COMSA, We All Rise, Casa Alba Melanie, and Wello are supported and trusted to lead. I also want to thank Mayor Eric Hendrick, a friend of mine that I know him before he became a mayor, and for being here today, but not only today, but also showing us that this is a moment for us and for the city of Green Bay. When decisions had to be made, the leadership is required. This partnership is part of why we are standing here today. The award for the whole city, this award is for the whole city, but especially for people who don't always feel seen, the families who arrived speaking different languages, practicing different religion or faith, carrying stories of war and hope. The ones who often get left out on a word of community. You are part of this moment. You are recognized. You are celebrated. Thank you. Thanks also goes to the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation for making this moment happen and this moment possible for all of us. So, without further ado, I would like to say thanks to everyone again. And in having said that, I would like to welcome my dear friend, incredible leader, Amanda Garcia of Casa Alba.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Amanda Garcia, Executive Director of Casa Alba Melanie, and I am the proud daughter of Mexican immigrants to the city of Green Bay. Like many other immigrant families in this area, my parents came in search of opportunity and chose to plant their roots here. This moment is a powerful reminder of what's possible when a community comes together across cultural lines and backgrounds with the common goal. The goal being well-being for everyone who lives here. I'm deeply honored to stand here today, not only as a proud Latina and community leader in Northeast Wisconsin, but as part of a larger movement of change makers who are shaping what health really means in our communities. I am especially grateful to be walking alongside leaders like Natalie, Robin, Saeed, the Mayor of Green Bay, each of which are visionaries in this work and bring a deep commitment rooted in their own personal stories. The keys to our success have been trust, relationship building, and a holistic view of what a culture of health means. Trust is earned through years of showing up, standing alongside our community members in times of need, and ensuring that our centers remain safe spaces. Relationship building with each other and local agencies through difficult conversations on what is working and what is not working have allowed us to create sustainable solutions. A holistic culture of health is our foundation, where we incorporate ancestral wisdom, youth voice, and the lived experience of the families that we serve. And we are not meant to do this work alone. I stand on the shoulders of those who came before me. I want to take a moment to acknowledge our incredible team at Casa Alba Melanie. I want to thank our board of directors, volunteers, partners, supporters, and most importantly, the community members who open up their hearts and share their stories with us. They have shared with us more than we can ever give back in return. And this recognition belongs to all of you. We know that to truly thrive, people need more than just their basic needs met. They need knowledge, they need access, and most importantly, they need comunidad, or community, and a sense of belonging, connection, and shared purpose. That's how we view health in our community. It's not just physical health, it's emotional, environmental, financial, and social well-being. It's our children feeling safe enough to play soccer in public parks. It's our families cooking tamales, pupusas, arroz con gandules, just to mention a few cultural meals. It's the tears of joy of a young Latina mom who is the first in her family to attend college on graduation day. It's our youth connecting with our elders and playing loteria and listening to the oral histories of those who came before them. Too often, we see how systems and structures create barriers to the residents of Brown County. We see it, we name it, and we work every day to change it. This recognition by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation affirms our approach, grounded in trust, culture, and community, and it's making a difference. It motivates us to keep going. So today, we don't just celebrate being a finalist, we celebrate the power of community. We celebrate the vision of health that brings voice to all these experiences and declare our commitment to building a future where all families, no matter where they come from or what language they speak, have what they need to make the best decisions for themselves and their loved ones. Now more than ever, we want the world to know that investing in our communities, our local communities, is investing in the future of this country. I choose to live in Green Bay, and I remain committed to improving community conditions for generations to come. And together, we will rise. And now, I would like to welcome Natalie once again back to the stage.
Thank you so much, Amanda. So as I look out into the crowd today, I see friends, I see neighbors, colleagues, I see community, and I really want to thank you all for taking time to be here today. Thank you. Again, my name is Natalie Bomstead, and I'm the Executive Director at Wello. And I want to begin not with a celebration, but with a pause. A moment to take in what it actually means for Green Bay, Wisconsin, to receive the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Culture of Health Prize. This is not a small thing. This is a national recognition. It's systemic affirmation, and it is a deep reflection of something we have all been quietly, and sometimes very loudly, consistently and radically building together for years. We often talk about community like it's one thing, but community is complex. It's not just the neighborhood cookouts or the ribbon cuttings, although those are very fun. It's the late night crisis calls. It's the last minute ride to the polls. It's the advocacy that happens behind closed doors and the leadership that asks nothing in return. It's the trust that's earned and not assumed. When we launched Wello, we said we wanted to create a healthier and more well Green Bay and Brown County. And what we've learned is this: you can't create health without creating trust, without building systems that center people, and without honoring the truth that belonging is the foundation of well-being. And that's why this award matters, not just because of what it celebrates, but because of who it celebrates. The immigrants at Casa Alba Melanie who navigate immigration paperwork and show up with stories of their journeys and their lives left behind, and still with hope. It's the refugee youth at COMSA who build futures from memory and migration. It's the survivors at We All Rise who rewire generations through healing and joy. These are not program outcomes. These are acts of power. And when we talk about health equity, this is what we mean: people reclaiming their right to thrive. At Wello, we've worked across public health and health care, education, food systems, transportation, and policy. But let me be clear. Our work has never been about leading for others. It's about showing up, staying in the room, listening harder, and leveraging what we have so that communities who have been erased from decision-making can take their rightful place at the center of it. I want to thank Mayor Genrich and the City of Green Bay for leaning in. And I want to thank my fellow leaders, Robin, Saeed, and Amanda, for holding me accountable, for pushing this work more deep than we could have ever imagined, and providing transformative leadership to make this movement and this moment possible. This award doesn't belong to any one agency. It belongs to every person in Green Bay, every person in this room that has ever asked that hard question, has built new pathways, and made space for joy and hope, even in the darkest of moments. So yes, we celebrate today, and we hope that you will too. But tomorrow, we keep on going. Because if well-being is truly a culture, then it must be something we all live into each and every day. So now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the City of Green Bay Mayor, Mayor Eric Genrich.
Thanks, Natalie. Well, thanks so much for those words, Natalie, and for the introduction. Thanks to my fellow leaders. You know, sometimes that's often said in public remarks is you're humbled, but I've never felt that more meaningfully than I do today. Truly humbled because of the work that has been done by Amanda and Robin and Saeed, Natalie, their respective teams to bring us to this point. More importantly, the work that they do every single day on behalf of those they serve and the community at large. Truly, truly humbled to be able to be here and join with you all and to celebrate what's been recognized by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, but more meaningfully to recognize the work that you all are doing every single day on behalf of the City of Green Bay. You know, we've done some things. We've declared racism to be a public health crisis in the City of Green Bay. We've established an Equal Rights Commission and a non-discrimination ordinance here. We've created an Office of Violence Prevention. I'm very proud of all of those things. But the work that you do every single day has inspired us to make some of those changes, that policy work, and continues to inspire us to push farther. And as Robin said, you know, this isn't a celebration of an endpoint, right? There's a gap that continues to exist between the community that we have and the community that we aspire to be. But that recognition is what is going to get us to that promised land, to get us to the point where we do have a community in which all of our residents and citizens are thriving and experiencing their best lives for themselves and for their family members and friends and neighbors. And that's what we're about. And I think that's what this award is about, is recognition of the work that we've done and the things that we have achieved, but also the fact that we have that level of humility to understand that we've got a whole heck of a lot left before we're satisfied, before we're all well, before we're all thriving. And so I'm just incredibly grateful, as I said, to all of these amazing leaders, to the people that they represent, you know, their fellow employees and clients and those that they advocate for every single day. And I'll just close with somebody that I've quoted a number of times, somebody that's familiar to, I think, pretty much everybody who does this work. Late Congressman John Lewis, was not just a congressman, but obviously was a civil rights leader in the 1960s and is famous for talking about the good trouble that's necessary for us all to create. And I think just kind of speaks to this gap that we have, but the importance of aspiring towards that future and living in our minds in the future that we all want to see. So he said, you have to have this sense of faith that what you're moving toward is already done. It's already happened. You live like that you're already there, that you're already in that community, part of that sense of one family and one house. So that's where we live in this community. That's where we aspire to be, and that's what's going to get us there. That's what's going to get us to that promised land. So I'm just, again, I've said it a million times, I'll say it again, immense gratitude to all of you for all the work that you've done and will continue to do to make Green Bay the amazing place that we know it to be. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So this morning you've heard about what the award means to many of us. And yet this moment isn't just about recognition, it's about responsibility. As a prize-winning community, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation has provided us with a $250,000 investment, which will be split between our 4 nonprofit organizations. And it recognizes the foundational work that we have completed because they saw something powerful in Green Bay, not just potential, but proof. Proof that when community-led organizations are trusted to lead, real change follows. So, now it's your turn. Today we are excited to launch a $250,000 local match campaign to ensure that this transformative work continues well into the future. And we're inviting every resident, every business, every partner, and every leader to join us. This is our chance to show what's possible when a city invests in its people. Not just in programs, but in the transformation of systems, in healing and in joy, in culturally rooted infrastructure that makes every resident feel like they belong here. This isn't charity, it's a shared legacy that we are building together. And it's what happens when we shift from surviving to thriving. So if you've ever asked yourself, what can I do to move this work forward? The answer is simple. Start here. Give boldly. Match the moment. Because Green Bay isn't just a Culture of Health Prize winner. We are a model for what's next and what is to come. Thank you all for joining us this morning for this incredible announcement. Thank you, Amanda and Robin, Mayor Genrich and Saeed, and for all of you for playing such an incredible part in making this moment possible for the city of Green Bay. Thank you all. Back on. We're so excited. We forgot the Q&A section. So if I could have all Robin and Amanda and Mayor and Saeed all come up. We are available for some questions, and we can also do individual interviews at the back as well. So any questions? Yeah, who wants to take that one? You want to take that?
So we talked about our theory of change that we have in our community. And so we identified all of the individual work that every one of our agencies has been doing. And then we tied it into all of the work that we started years ago together in partnership with one another. We highlighted how we're building a healthier and thriving community through shifting food systems. And so we have Cultivate Community. And we have been able to have the opportunity to get healthy produce to families. We talked about the various partnerships that we have around heart health, We talked about the ways in which we are invested in shifting systems and our theories of change with one another. We talked about the great things that the city of Green Bay has done to invest in organic produce, invest in the economic infrastructure, and all of our work that it took to do that all together.
The city was a finalist in 2021. Why do you guys think Green Bay won this time?
You want to take that?
Persistence. I think at the time we had gotten some news that we were right there, and the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation really wanted to see how this was going to flourish. So persistence truly is, I think, the one word I would say, and continue to work collaboratively and innovatively together as a community, and continuing to push the city of Green Bay forward as a model that really needed to be noticed and recognized.
I also think the resilience that we had, like we navigated a global pandemic doing direct service work in this community, and it was unlike anything we'd ever experienced before. And so at the time previous, I think the work that we were doing, we were able to highlight it, but our focus was on our grassroots effort. Our focus was on the ground. And I think that right now, this time showed us that we were finally able to take pause and really just think about the work that we had done, talk about the work that we had done, and feel comfortable inviting the organization into our community, touring our cities, and all of the infrastructure, and talking about our work. And so I also think that it was a matter of being able to speak truth to power, to be able to reflect on where we were, and where we are now, and what we have to look forward to into the future. And so I think that also played a big part in that. They've seen a lot of our pain, but they also got to experience our joy.
Just want to add, I think Amanda or Robin, both, even Natalie, mentioned the word trust. And there was, before this work is done, there was a strong trust among all of us. And when we talk about and defined health inequity, even though we speak different languages and we came from different backgrounds and I have an accent, the work we do is synonymous. It's just one problem that we need to solve. And among all, we were brought together by the concept of African philosophy, Ubuntu. I am because we are. That this is not one-man show. This is all of us thinking about how can we solve our problems, not my problem, together in a way that is more, we work, I listen to my community, and Robin listens to our community, and Amanda does the same. But when we come together and have these conversations, it's like we were just having one conversation with one community. So bringing all this together and making sure that we as a group, not myself, not individually, I think brought this, the trust among us, and working together, I think brought this together.
I just wanted to add one piece to it too. Going back to why were we selected this time, I feel like after we had submitted our application, we took time to actually rethink what we submitted and reframing what it really means to live in Green Bay. And I wanted to give a shout out to Stephanie, who led us in an amazing workshop where we talked about social determinants of health. We talked about turning points. We talked about healing in our community. What does that look like? So I think that helped us reimagine what it means to live here and to help everyone here thrive. So I think for me, that was a turning point. And I think when the Robert Wood representatives came to tour our facilities and get to know the work that we do, they were just blown away to how we frame a culture of health.
Congratulations, first of all. Each of you mentioned that the work's not done. And now, especially with the award that you've won with this recognition, what is the work that you expect to do using this as a jumping off point?
So I know for us, we expect to keep on building We All Rise, to keep on creating space that our communities, our survivors can and live and breathe unapologetically. We intend to continue to push for better access to healthcare, better access to healthy foods, and to continue to educate our community members on those things that they need to feel better every single day. And so I think the most important part is we intend to listen to community and continue to build programming as a response to what they're telling us. And so we know that this work, it doesn't happen in silos, that this is what community looks like. You all are what community looks like. And so every single day we're adjusting to the other service providers that are in this area. We're finding better ways to be in better partnership, to be more collaborative, to show and push through, to be resilient. And then we're always reminding ourselves of where we come from and the shoulders of the people that we stand on. And so I know for sure that there's a lot of work, there's a lot of streamlining of services, a lot more partnerships that we need to have, many more courageous conversations that must be had in order to build bridges in our community. And so we're committed to that, and we're committed to sharing our theories of change with all of you so that you can continue to help replicate this model across this beautiful city and continue to invest in the work of not only what you see right in front of you, but all the work and all the dreams that are happening around you.
You know, one of the things I think that the Culture of Health Prize can really elevate is this conversation about what does it mean to be healthy and what does it mean to have well-being. And honestly, several years ago, I think much of our community still, saw health as a very one kind of dot on a line, one data point. Are you moving? How many fruits and vegetables are you eating every day? It was very prescriptive. And I think what I would really hope that this award can elevate for our community is that we recognize the complexity that health and that well-being means, the deep cultural roots that means, the ways in which we can work together in ways we may not have thought about health in the past, but it can open our minds to new ways of partnering, changing systems that just no longer work or serve the people they're meant to serve. And so I really hope that this award can help us open our minds and our hearts to new ways of thinking about how we holistically wrap around the people in our community so that everyone truly can thrive.
Just to quickly add to that, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised to hear me talk about housing. That's something that we talk about all the time at the city of Green Bay. But in the news recently was the fact that the city now has development rights to both Tank Elementary and Elmore Elementary schools on our west sides. And I've already had conversations with everyone up here about how we can create a next chapter for those facilities. They have, obviously a very powerful legacy within the community, educating so many thousands of children and families here in the city of Green Bay, and what can we do to make a new life for those buildings, to make sure that they're serving all members of our community, and really want to make sure that these leaders and their organizations have a voice in visioning what that next chapter looks like for those buildings. And I think the work here has certainly made it even clearer that these folks have earned, deserve that seat at the table, need that seat at the table when making those decisions for this community. And then also just to go back to that question about why the community won this time around, I can say this, but these people are all rock stars. And I think that came through really clear with Robert Wood Johnson. I think you've all convinced one another to get PhDs, right? Is that how this worked? And so I think that kind of stuff really comes through to those who are looking at the work externally, to understand that they care so deeply about the work that they're doing, about one another, to devote however many years it's going to be to get those PhDs to better themselves, right? Of course, but to use those tools to really improve their organizations, to deepen the work, and to do great things for the city. I think that's the kind of stuff that was even more powerfully communicated this time around.
Yes. So we will launch after this. It will be on all of our websites. So you can go to any one of our agencies and you will see that link that is a landing page, and it will also show a thermometer of where we are in that progress. That match is very important. We've had an outside entity who has said, yes, we see you. And we're going to take some of our outside dollars and we're going to invest them in the city of Green Bay. And we are asking our community to rise to that occasion and to match that. We all know that our global ecosystem has been rocked from a nonprofit standpoint in the last few months. And these dollars are really, really essential that none of the services that are provided today have to be cut. I'm going to be very blunt. They might be. And so these dollars stay local and they ensure that the foundation that has been laid and the trust and the partnership that has been created here can continue to thrive as well. And so we really encourage you to think about what you can do. $1, $10. Maybe instead of that morning coffee, you go to this website and you scan the QR code. Those dollars are going to be reinvested right here in the city of Green Bay. They're going to be invested to support your neighbors and all the people who call this place home. Thank you. Any other questions?
Kind of speaking to that culture nationally right now, is Green Bay taking the risk to continue, this radical change?
Yeah, I think the change that we're seeking is that every person has an opportunity to thrive. So from our perspective, that's not radical. That's essential, right? As a prize-winning community, we are going to be joined by over 60 other communities in the duration of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation cycle. So they've been giving out this prize for over 10 years. So members of our community are going to be able to travel together in a few weeks to formally celebrate the award with all those other prize-winning communities. And so I mention that because we're not alone on this journey, right? Sometimes I think we're meant to feel that we are, but we are not. There are many folks within our community who really care about people and care about investing in the overall health and well-being of its community. And I think that's what this award really recognizes.
So when you think about our work, and I just want to say this, I want you to think about when young people are at their wits' end or they've gotten really lost in community and they need caring adults. When young people are hungry and they need meals. When survivors have fled domestic violence and sexual violence and they have to go to the hospital to get a SANE exam. It's our staff that's with those folks during those really tough moments. And it's our staff that remind them that although harm has happened, that thriving is still possible, living is still possible, that we're here with you and we're standing alongside you on your journey. When you're thinking about the rising homelessness and folks that are unhoused in community and the economic instability, it's our organizations that's willing to sit down with someone and do a budget. Even when you're budgeting, and most of us are one paycheck away from poverty, right? We're reimagining what it looks like to feed your household. We're looking for opportunities to work with other community members. We're looking for grandmothers and elders in the community to help babysit kids. And so when we are thinking about the everyday things that some of us take for granted, there are so many other people that need that support. And so our motto is, one, we believe wholeheartedly that people know exactly what they need in order to be successful. And it's our job to stand alongside them while they stand up for themselves. And so each and every one of us, all of our organizations, we've done our best and will continue to do our best every single day to come in with joy in our hearts, despite what happens, so that we can be radical and transforming and spreading love each of our organizations have been invested in what's happening in our backyard. And so with all the noise and all the things that are happening, we've really been focused on what we can control, and that's what we have right here. Right? And so we're looking at our grass, making sure that our grass continues to stay green. And we're making sure that we're thinking strategically amongst all of us about who's the best at this? Whose voice is it? Who should we be calling to the center in this very moment right now? And so rather than being distracted by anything that does not serve the people of this community well, we are focused, we're poignant, and we are doing our very best to be of service to the people of this community because we love them, we believe in them, we trust them, and we see all that they want us to see in terms of their future, in terms of prosperity, in terms of health, and in terms of thriving. And so this is not a risk for us at all. This is who we are as leaders. Us enrolling in the PhD program to be better at research, to be better understanding of our numbers, to figure out what it is that we need to continue to push forward. You know, like Green Bay is on the map in this situation, and we go into rooms all the time across this beautiful nation that's doing transformative work to serve those people in their community. And so this is the team that's formed in yours. And we are, I promise you, doing our very best every single day to be of service to the people that are most vulnerable, to be of service to the other nonprofits who have dreams and goals and curriculums and are looking for new partnership, all of those things.
Can you say that first part again?
Is creating community then a healthier community leading into not leading into struggles that each community, individual community, culture has faced before?
If you want to take that? Sure.
So I just wanted to start by echoing what Robin said. We don't see this work as risk at all. We see it as necessary. We have a commitment and an obligation to serve the people of Green Bay, and that means everyone, regardless of who they are, where they come from, or what they look like. So the question was, is creating community part of this? I think it was at every step of this award. It's at every step at what we do at our respective agencies. We're creating community and building community one day at a time, one person at a time. So for us at Casa Alba, when someone comes into our building and they leave with hope, whether we were able to help them on finding a solution that day or at that moment, if they leave our building with hope or a smile on their face, we have accomplished our mission because someone took the time to listen, meet them where they're at, listen with compassion. And what you're seeing here is community. We're working across cultural lines, we're working across different backgrounds, and there is still room for each of us to grow in our own agencies, but we know that we're stronger together. So that's really what we wanted you to take from today, is that we can't do this without all of you. And in order to make Green Bay stronger, it's going to take a lot more of this type of work.
Yeah.
Just quickly, I can't tell you how many times I have been stretched in these partnerships, how many times I've had to reimagine what I was thinking and what came to mind and what I was hearing from community and bring it all together. I know the mayor, this is our policy guy. And then we have Natalie. Natalie is gonna tell you about systems change and education and how we make this work, how we make what we all do on the ground work. And so had it not been for everybody else standing up here, one, I know that I couldn't have gotten the prize alone in this national recognition, but it's the simple fact that every single organization brought something unique. And even growing up in, the school systems here, there was so much that we still were yet to learn. And so I've had the opportunity of sitting with each one of these folks, working alongside them on their different projects, like the mayor and the JBS work and the garden work, to be able to feed and help with the economic stability of our community members. Saeed and his after-school programming and education programming. And then meeting, the Ukrainian refugees, the newest members of our communities, like at the door with a smile on his face and like open arms. And Amanda sharing culture, sharing food, sharing the realities of what's happening in her community and on the ground. That's something that I had never experienced before. And so working together, all of us, like forming this partnership, has allowed us to break through, to not be sitting there thinking and conditioned by any other system, but to actually be on the ground and to be closest to the issues, to be able to figure out the solutions like next to those that are most vulnerable. And so when you're looking at the folks that are up here, all of us are in different sectors of the work. And we may be doing different things at different times, but we've managed to pull this together and figure out those puzzle pieces to really represent our whole community.
I just want to say the other name that we have, everything was said is correct, but we have one name, United Front for Social Change. So that's our name, that's our brand name, besides the organizations we have.
Any other questions? All right, thank you all so much for joining us today. Thank you for sharing in this moment, and thank you in advance for continuing to invest and show up in this work throughout our community. Thank you and have a great day.